Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
You know, we'd love to get into all sorts of things here, but today we're getting down to business, literally. We're going to tackle branding. It's something that can feel like a puzzle, especially for, those of you just starting up a business or running a small business.
Yeah. It's really easy to get lost in all the jargon, but we're going to break it down, even if you're brand new to the whole thing.
Exactly. So a roadmap for this deep dive
Yeah.
is an article from Lacidias, and it's titled, How Passion Can Be Your Most Powerful Branding Tool. This one really caught my eye because it flips the script. We think about branding as logos and slogans, but this article highlights the human element, the heart of a successful brand.
And that's such a game changer, especially for startups and small businesses, because your passion, that fire in your belly, it's honestly a much stronger asset than a fancy logo when you're just starting out.
Okay, I have all ears. Break it down for me. And for our listener, why is passion so powerful when it comes to branding?
Well, the article emphasizes a simple but profound truth. People buy from people. Think about it. Who are you more likely to support? A faceless corporation? Or someone you feel a genuine connection with?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
But how does that translate into actually building a brand?
Yeah.
Especially when you're starting from scratch.
Well, it starts with you. You are your brand's first ambassador. Your enthusiasm, your belief in what you're doing, that's contagious. The article uses Steve Jobs and Apple as like a prime example.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
That's a name that's practically synonymous with Apple. But how did
Yeah.
he do it? Was it just his charisma?
Charisma definitely played a part, but it was more than that. Jobs infused his personality, his vision, his passion for innovation into every aspect of Apple. He wasn't just selling computers, he was selling a piece of himself, a piece of his dream, and people bought into it, literally and figuratively.
So it's like they weren't just buying a product, they were buying into Steve Jobs' passion, his vision.
Precisely. And that's the kind of connection that builds loyalty, creates buzz, turns customers into raving fans. The article mentions Coca-Cola and Disney as well. They've mastered the art of selling feelings and experiences as much as they're selling actual products.
Okay, so passion is the key ingredient. But how do I, as like a small business owner, translate my passion into a tangible brand?
One crucial way is by aligning your brand with your values. The article cites a stat that really drives this home. 60% of consumers are more likely to buy from a brand that shares their values. That's huge. It's like finding your tribe.
So if I'm passionate about sustainable practices, for example, that should be front and center in my branding.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to be specific. Define your values. Weave them into your brand story. Shout them from the rooftops. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
So authenticity is key. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Be true to yourself, and you'll attract the right people.
Exactly. The article also talks about the power of word-of-mouth marketing, which is gold for startups and small businesses. And you know what fuels word of mouth? Trust. And trust is built on, you guessed it, authenticity. There's a great quote from the article. People don't trust brands. They trust people.
That's so true. Think about it. We're way more likely to try a new restaurant if a friend recommends it right. Their passion for that place becomes contagious.
Exactly. When someone you trust vouches for a product or service, it immediately carries more weight than any fancy ad campaign. And that's where your genuine passion as a business owner comes in again. People can sense when you truly believe in what you're doing.
So let me get this straight. Passion is the foundation. It helps me connect with people on a real level, builds trust, and even sparks that word-of-mouth magic. But how do I practically use my passion to build a brand? I mean, it's a feeling, not a marketing plan.
That's where things get really interesting. The article frames passion as a fuel, confidence, and a roadmap. It's not just a feeling, it's a force that can drive your entire branding journey.
Okay, I'm starting to see how passion can be more than just a feeling. But how does it work as fuel, confidence, and a roadmap?
Think of it this way. Passion is the fuel that keeps you going when things get tough. And believe me, they will when you're building a business. It gives you the energy to push through challenges, stay up late working on your dream, and keep that spark alive even when you're facing setbacks.
That makes sense. Passion is fuel check. But what about confidence? I think that's something a lot of new business owners struggle with.
Absolutely. Confidence is crucial, and passion fuels it. When you're genuinely passionate about what you're doing, it shines through. It gives you the confidence to put yourself out there, connect with potential customers, and make bold decisions. You're not just selling a product or service. You're sharing a piece of yourself, and that's powerful.
And the roadmap part. How does passion guide you like a map?
Passion helps you clarify your vision. It helps you define your goals. target your ideal customer, and craft a brand identity that truly reflects what you stand for. It's like having an internal compass that keeps you on track.
So even if I get lost in the weeds of marketing plans and social media strategies, I can always come back to that initial passion, that spark that ignited this whole journey.
Exactly. That passion is your North Star. It'll help you stay true to yourself and your vision, even when things get chaotic. And speaking of staying true to yourself, the article really hammers home the importance of authenticity.
Yeah, they keep coming back to that. Why is authenticity so important? Especially in the world of branding. It seems like everyone's trying to present this perfect image online.
Because in a world of curated perfection, authenticity cuts through the noise, people are savvy, they can spot a fake from a mile away. So being genuine, being real, it's not just ethically sound, it's good business. Think about brands you love. Chances are they feel real, relatable, human.
That's so true. I'm way more likely to support a business that feels genuine, even if they're not perfectly polished. It's like I'd rather have a real conversation with someone
Right.
than listen to a robot recite a script.
Exactly. And the best part is, authenticity is something you already possess. It's about tapping into your unique story, your values, your quirks, and letting those shine through in your brand.
So it's not about trying to be someone I'm not. It's about embracing who I am and letting that authenticity be my brand's superpower.
You got it. And you know what else is interesting? The article highlights how passion makes you memorable.
Oh, I love that. Tell me more.
In a crowded marketplace, passion helps you stand out. It's what makes you different, unique, and memorable.
So it's not just about being passionate about my product or service. It's about letting that passion infuse every aspect of my brand, making it unforgettable.
Precisely. And the article mentions this Bright branding kit, which sounds like a great resource for putting these principles into action.
Oh, yeah. What's the deal with that? Is it like a step-by-step guide to branding with passion?
It seems to be. It's designed to help you translate those abstract ideas, passion, authenticity, values, into concrete actions. It can help you clarify your message, develop your visual identity, even create a social media strategy that really resonates with your target audience.
So it's like a toolbox for building a brand that's not only effective, but also infused with that all-important passion. Definitely going to check that out. But before we go too far down that road, I have a question that's been bugging me. We've talked a lot about why passion is important, but how does someone actually tap into that passion when it comes to building their brand, especially if they're feeling stuck or unsure of where to start?
That's a great question, and a common one, too. It's easy to get caught up in the logistics of starting a business and lose sight of that initial spark. But the good news is that spark is still there, waiting to be rekindled.
Okay, I'm ready to reignite that flame. But how? Where do I even begin?
It can be helpful to think back to the very beginning. Why did you start this business in the first place? What problem were you trying to solve? What impact did you want to make on the world?
So it's about reconnecting with that initial motivation, that driving force.
Exactly. And once you've identified that core passion, you can start to weave it into every aspect of your brand. It becomes the guiding principle for everything, from product development to customer service.
So it's not just about putting on like a passionate face
Yeah.
for marketing. It's about letting that passion kind of permeate every decision, every interaction, every aspect of the business.
Yeah.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
That's it, exactly. And don't be afraid to let your personality shine through. Share your story. Be vulnerable. Let people see the human behind the brand. People connect with stories, with real experiences, with genuine emotion.
I think that's so important, especially today, where everything feels so polished and filtered. People are craving authenticity, realness, connection.
Absolutely. In a world of automation and impersonal interactions, a brand that feels human, that has a heart and a soul, is incredibly appealing.
This has been eye-opening. I feel like I'm seeing branding in a whole new light. It's not just about logos and slogans. It's about tapping into that passion, that fire within, and letting it guide every aspect of my business.
I'm so glad to hear that. And remember, branding isn't a one-time task. It's an ongoing process of evolution and refinement. As you grow and change, your brand will too.
So it's about checking in with myself regularly, making sure my brand still reflects who I am, what I stand for, and what I'm passionate about. It's a journey, not a destination.
Beautifully said. And don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things, and to adapt as you go. Your brand should be a reflection of your journey. And that journey is always evolving.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add? Any final words of wisdom for our listener who's on this exciting but often daunting journey of building a brand?
Just this. You are your brand's greatest asset. Your passion, your story, Your unique perspective, that's what will set you apart from the competition and create a lasting connection with your audience. So embrace the messiness, the imperfections, and let your true self shine through.
It's about being brave enough to be yourself, to let your passion be your guide, and to trust that the right people will connect with your authentic story.
This has been a fantastic deep dive. I feel so much more equipped to tackle this whole branding thing.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the power of passion and branding. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and feel inspired to infuse your brand with the heart and soul that make it uniquely yours. Until next time, keep that passion burning bright